This is where the fun begins.
Are you sure? Did you miss me? It was just before dawn. They came out of nowhere.
Do you have any idea who's behind this attack?
We will find out who's trying to kill you, Padme. I promise you.
Escort the senator back to the booth. She'll be safer there.
I do not like this idea of hiding.
Sometimes we must do what is requested of us.
Dangerous and disturbing this puzzle is.
You're using her as bait. I'm a Jedi.
A Jedi! What do you know?
Follow that speeder! You went that way.
This is a shortcut, I think.
Anakin! How many times have I told you?
Stay away from the park coupling. We decided to come and rescue you.
Good job.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to OG Star Wars channel. I am your host, OG Star Wars, and if you haven't guessed, today is the 22nd anniversary of when Attack of the Clones released in the theaters. So I most likely probably will get a copy strike for that or something, but I will edit it on later. But I just thought I'd share this with you because of the fact that we are not only like having the 22nd, 22 years since Attack of the Clones was released, we are coming up onto the Phantom Menace's 25th anniversary too. So in a couple of days. So what a great time it is to be George Lucas era Star Wars fan with all these wonderful anniversaries coming up. And in fact, the Star Wars anniversary, May 25th, is coming up as well. So with that being said, what do you like about Attack of the Clone? What is your favorite scenes, favorite moments, favorite whatever in Attack of the Clones? And hello again, my name is Alora. If you're catching the replay, thank you so much. Please leave a like and then also share out. Leave a comment if you're catching the replay. If you're joining me here now, do all the same and become a member. Become a member. So today we're not going to go exactly 2 hours because I do have a meeting to get to at 11, but we will push it towards that time frame because it's on Zoom. So I can just switch gears from my location right here. So I'm wearing a hat today. Look at that. I'm wearing a tank top. It's starting to warm up here in the studio. So with that being said, today we are going to discuss, of course, what our EU book of the week is. We are getting back into Asharat Hett, and this is going to be the time frame of when him and Obi-Wan Kenobi basically duel on Tatooine. And so we're going to get in that part of history with Asharat Hett. And then we are going to talk about who is saying and why they are saying Anakin is not a Skywalker. So that is the cringe factor right there. And if that statement alone doesn't make you cringe, then I don't know what does. Speaking of the PT, Anakin being introduced to us in full, not through Vader, not through his Sith persona, but who he is as a person. And now they're trying to say, or like at least someone is trying to create some controversy or whatever, that Anakin is not a Skywalker to defend Rey. but we will get into that soon. So let me see what you guys have to say here. So Sandra Rock, hello. The only one that's not a Skywalker is Kennedy's self-insert Ray. Cheers to that. And what's in your mug? Of course, I have the wonderful Asajj Ventress here. And what are you enjoying in your beverage here today? Gordon, how are you doing? So my grandfather knew and worked with for a real Skywalker. I think you mentioned that before. I think I've seen that before. That's very interesting. A Skywalker. Just imagine, like every time I go and travel, I guess you could say Indian country around to dance at powwows, different tribes and stuff like that. I always think about, will I ever run into someone by the name of Skywalker? You know, you never know. And then hello, good morning to you. And all is well. And of course, our wonderful mod is here. Thank you so much. Soul Assassin, smash that like and share the stream out. So what's funny was that when he shared with me today is the anniversary of Attack of the Clones. I was waking up and I read it, but then I read, like, I don't know why I was thinking the Phantom Menace, and I was like, that's wrong. That's Phantom. It's like the anniversary is on the 19th, and then I started clearing my eyes a little bit more, and then I read again, and I was like, oh shit, no, it's right. And so he was teasing me earlier. Oh my god, that was hilarious. I was like, literally, I was just waking up. I was still in bed, and I noticed, I grabbed my phone and I noticed that I had some messages and stuff, and so I was checking it out. Never reply until you're fully awake, right? Conrado Javier. They're devaluing the Skywalker's surname by making it a made-up name by some officer like the Solo movie. Well, we'll get into exactly what's going on with that. So, and then Rodimus, hey, how are you doing? It has been a while. I'm glad you are joining us here. And let's see here. Marvel will make a comic where Skywalker is not an even Shmi's Anakin's mom's surname, but a fake name she made up to survive. There you go. You probably already guessed it already. And then we have Star Wars Scran. Go check out his latest video. It is he had a few latest that came out, so go check it out. If Soul Assassin can share the link, that would be great. But his latest one is Kenobi. I believe it's the Kenobi one. I believe I could be wrong. I've watched a few already that came out. Gordon says, "Howdy, Soul Assassin." So I love that you guys are exchanging hellos and good mornings and everything. I love that. And let's see who else is popping in here. And hello to all the channel members that are coming on as well. And we do have Iron Inquisitor here. Good morning, everyone. Got my giant Star Wars mug of coffee. Mine isn't exactly giant, but on a crack. Look at that. I'm sad, but that's okay. I think I'm going to get myself the Quinlan Voss one. And then I have the one that's Hope. I believe I have the one that's Hope that is stashed away. And then my other mug that I always like to quiz you guys on is my Twin Sun mug. Twin Sun. So going back to the New Jedi Order with the Twin Sun Squadron. So let's see here. And then Jim the Despot's here. How are you doing? I'm glad you are joining. And we have a lovely Melissa Lord. How are you doing? I hope work is going well for you. Thank you for tuning in. And Matthew is here. I saw episode 4 and 4K. Everyone who complained about DNR, yes, they are frozen grains and it could be sharper, but I thought it looked incredible. So let's see here. That was, and y'all remember when the prequel trailers were everywhere? What a time, excuse me, to be alive. Yes. Again, I might have to go back and re-edit that part where I have the PT, the Attack of the Clones. You never know. I might have that warning later on. But we are still here, so we are still good. Lucky they didn't take down the stream or anything. But I picked it to where you really couldn't hear much of the score. Because usually that's what gets you the copyright strike is the John Williams score. The music. So I tried to, between all the trailers, I tried to find one that was more effective for the channel, but that doesn't guarantee everything. So I understand that I'm not going to complain about it because I knew I played it. I know about copyrights laws and stuff like that. So with that being said, probably may or may not. So if you watch this on the replay and you don't see Attack of the Clones trailer, that's what happened. I had to re-edit it, and that's okay. That's okay. It's for here and now, and to celebrate Star Wars 50th in 2027. Yeah, Star Wars. I would say, yeah, Star Wars like George Lucas 50th anniversary, but not necessarily Disney. But that's how I look at it, because if you celebrate Disney within this within this time frame, then you're giving them credit for where it's not due. Hot take: I actually prefer Star Wars Holiday Special over the sequel trilogy. There you go. Okay, I respect that. OG got a trucker hat tank top. She got to a party or gonna haul cargo. Are going to a party or gonna I can't even read. But we're still here. Thanks for coping with me. It's just one of those mornings, can get shit done, right? I have a meeting after this, and today I gotta get ready to go to another powwow. I will still be on the spacing, so I'll probably be on location where I'm staying at on spacing. So I'll be filming in a different location, but I will still be on spacing, not filming, but going live, basically. The music during Shmi's death. Yeah. It's all tragic. Oh, hello, Darth Toby. Did you hear that? He jumped up. All right. But it is. Remember when Curad adhesive banded boxes had 3D? Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clone movie poster in front of the box. I love that thing to death. Oh my God, there was so much that they did. So much. You want to see a tail? Look at that. Okay. All right. He's like behind the laptop, behind my computer right here. He's going to lay down, I think. Space Battleship Yamato just had a 50th, Star Trek 60th. Oh, okay. I haven't really gotten into the Star Trek. Tim challenged me to get into it, start watching. I haven't really fully got into it yet. So, but once I fully do, you may hear me talk about it a little bit on Twitter, just like I have been with the Lord of the Rings, which in fact, this is not a Lord of the Rings channel, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys who know of the lore, who has watched the movies, read the books, know about Tolkien's history, all of that, and his intentions and stuff like that, probably are not happy with the Rings of Power Season 2 trailer and what's going on with that. Let's see here. The Skywalker, the son of the sons. Let's see here. I stumped OG with episode 2. I'm both pleased and terrified. That's only because I was waking up. I wasn't fully focused, and I just assumed and read with. I wasn't all there. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. That's my story. Lucas' original scripts and treatments are brilliant. Oh God, they're so fun to read because you get to see the evolution of what they were doing and what they wanted, and I say this all the damn time. When you first see the very first idea, the quote unquote treatments, the idea, they change significantly. So I don't know why people use, George's treatments, our sequel trilogy treatments prove otherwise. They act like it's set in stone, and they were never made. So they are irrelevant to use in any source of proof saying that maybe the EU wasn't canon or something. The rhetoric that they do. Gordon McDonald says, my mom made a point to get me a collector's Star Wars M&M promo 2-sided movie poster for episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and had Anakin on one side and Vader on the other. She got me a big metal button pin that had Vader. That is friggin' cool. I would have tried to get one of those double-sided frames to where you can kind of hang it from your ceiling a little bit so you can see both sides. No, you know, depending on the angle where you're at in your room. That would have been friggin' cool. Yes. Acknowledge my existence, chat. Someone is feeling a little bit feeling like he has a little bit too much power here. He's turning Sith. Yes, check out my merch. Let's see here. Unless he's talking about the cat, I don't know. Okay, and Revenge of the Sith lays potato chips. Oh my God, you guys are going all through how George marketed through so many other brands, which was brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. I mean, it was like there's even cereals I think that had some of it too. What a time! What a time! Let's see here. Matthew says in 1974, Star Wars script was way too big to make it into a movie, but I have always liked it. A bit of Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, and Kurosawa. Love the comic book from Rinsler. There's so much. I mean, shit, we can even do a stream about what do you call it? The archives, the OT archives and then the PT archives. Let's see here. Just got here. Howdy, OGN chat. And how are you doing? I am glad you made it in. And let's see. Rodimus Prime says, OG, I disagree with you on the Ferris Olin. I don't think he's gay because when Rowan Lance dies, they both say goodbye, brother, which tells me we're like brothers. That is a debatable one. That is very debatable because they also say they're partners, more than just business partners. So, yeah, I can see where you're getting at with that though. I can see. Oh, where'd it go? And then Brandon is here. Hello. So we had a small break from stop it. Stop it. Oh my God. The cat is getting into shit on the side of my table here. So we got away from Asherad Hett due to wanting to talk about the Dathomirian witches. Because the clans were introduced in the Tales of the Empire, the Disney show. So I thought it was very important to touch bases on who they really were because we know how much Filoni changes them and distorts them, bastardizes them. And I thought it was very important to do that. But we are going to get into Asherad Hett, and we're going to get it into the time frame of when he encounters Obi-Wan Kenobi, our Daring Ben's exile. Dude, what are you doing? Go. All right. So you can't see it, but Darth Toby's raising hell right next to me, trying to play with everything on the table. And then he'll turn it into a pushing thing where he pushes everything off the table. Okay. Let's see here. So we're going to get into that. But I'm going to pull up the actual comic. So I'm going to go ahead and take care of that right now while I still say hello and address what you guys are saying in the chat. So let me see here. Windows. Okay, that's not fully up. Cancel. I have to put it up on screen, full view on screen before I can present it. So, but this is going to go into reminiscence of when I used to review comics with Stieg for CAF chat. So there we go. So we'll get into that here in a few minutes. Of course, you see who is on here. So we have Kate Skywalker's mom. She's looking at their holocron when she was with his dad and when he was a baby. Not a baby, but when he's a child. Kind of reminiscent to how Fett and his wife and daughter, had their image. Very reminiscent to that. And let's see here. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Okay. So what do you guys know about this crate or Asherad Hett and Obi-Wan Kenobi and their duel? Have you guys read the Legacy comics? Do you guys know a little about that? If you don't, I highly recommend it. This will be only a spoiler for this flashback. but not for the entire like plot and series going on here in Legacy. I do highly recommend it. This is not the book of the week, EU book of the week, or well, you know what, EU book. It could be a comic, it could be a source book or whatever. So it is not. However, I still recommend, if you can find them without Legends label, if you can find them individually and you can collect them all without Legends label, I highly recommend getting this series. Let me grab a drink. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna put myself on screen a little here too. You know what? I had it customized to where it was in a different location, and that customization is no longer. That's weird. Let's see here. I'm all trying to let me straighten up the house here on my channel here. Let me go ahead and put something up here because I hardly use this overlay. Where's that? There we go. There we go. Let's see here. Do I like that? Like that? You guys want me to make it the screen a little bit bigger of the comic before we start talking about that, before we start going through this? Let me know. I'm going to go back to the chat. Let me see here. There we go. Or is this fine? I usually, stupid, these buttons are like little hair triggers. They're really sensitive. Love the Legacy books, but prefer Cade over Legacy 2. Yeah, that's what I hear. Legacy 2 was kind of a mixed bag for a lot of people. And then Gordon McDonald says, I remember I had a big Phantom Menace coloring book, activity puzzle book. I really loved those things. There's a lot. Oh, look at this guy. He wants Good morning, Mr. Dystopian. How are you doing? All right. So if you guys want me to make the screen, I think I'll make it bigger just because that does not sound right. There we go. All right. So much better. And then you won't be seeing the shenanigans of what's going on with the Darth Toby here. All right. So we are getting into this now. So we know by this time, this is so crazy, the back and forth between Crate and Cade is it's so much. It's fun because Cade has that snide banter that Mara Jade, that reminds you of Mara Jade, right? He has that type of snide kind of attitude, and so it's reminiscence of her. So like she's like his great grandma or something like that. I don't know. I'm guessing the line, like how many generations are between them, but you can see where he inherits some of these traits, and does he have any like traits of Luke? Yeah, he does in a sense, but you see him more of you see more of Mara, I guess you could say, if you want to go down that. So they're here. So basically Crate says, I have mastered Sith techniques for prolonging life and have spent time in stasis. In the last days of the Republic, like all the Jedi, I was a general in the Clone Wars. I even served with the sire of your line, Anakin Skywalker. So we're going back. So remember, if you guys were there for me introducing him during the Clone Wars and stuff, then you know that at one point he was basically in charge, not necessarily Anakin's master. Anakin thought that he lost Obi-Wan Kenobi. He thought that he was dead and really a captor of Asajj Ventress. But so he was in the hands of Hett, where Anakin he does reveal his hatred towards the Tuskens and the reason why. So he reveals everything. And so now Crate has been carrying this burden with him, among other things. And I discovered truth about him that, had they been known, would have gotten Skywalker cast out of the order. Instead, I kept it silent, leaving it to his conscience to atone. A mistake, as it turned out. How much blood and pain could have been avoided if I had but spoken. So now he's saying, okay, so if I would have spoken about Anakin and what he did to get him kicked out, then maybe he wouldn't have turned. But I think, what do you guys think? If he would have spoken up and got Anakin vanished, do you think that would have put him further into Palpatine's hands quicker? Think about that. Or if he would, because he's talking about speaking up. He's not talking about killing Anakin. He's talking about speaking up. So we'll go on now with what Cade has to say. Still doesn't play any Any green apprentice knows the histories. All the Jedi were wiped out at the end of the Clone Wars. Order 66 went down, and their own troops slashed them. Your master has neglected your education, he says to Cade. The names of Yoda and Obi-Wan are let me see. Let me back up. Do you not know the names of Obi-Wan or Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi? I do, especially Kenobi. So we're going to get into now this flashback. So here we go. I'm going to see what you guys are saying in the chat. Yeah, I agree. Like a lot of things were halted during that. So let me see. And the Republic comics were so much better than Filoni. The Battle of Jabin arc was both Anakin and then Luke was brilliant. The Rebellion comic was good too. Yeah, I agree. That was all great. Rey's personality is be a new, improved, and better Luke. Okay. All right. So we're talking about this here. And hello, Zagrat. I'm happy to see you here and joining us. Thank you so much. So here we go. So we get to the flashback here. So we have Asherad Hett. We see him, fighting here. We're going to get into that. We see him on the Tusken Raider, or not on the Tusken Raider. We see him on we see him on the Bantha. Oh my God, that did not sound right. Okay. If he had spoke to Yoda, they might not have expelled Anakin. They might have counseled him and given him a quest of atonement. Yeah, there might be that possibility too, but it could have expelled him too. So it could have went in many directions. Really, it could have. But that would still, like a bantha. Yeah, I should have kept that friggin' clip on my brand here, because I have that like a bantha thing on the I had that video. I made that video. So, but yeah, so that could have been so many different directions, but it still would have possibly pushed him further into Palpatine's hands quicker than what we've seen already. So, we can go into these what ifs and stuff like that, which he's thinking, okay, if I did it this way, then maybe it wouldn't have happened. And so, let's get into this right here. I was scouting apart from my troops when Order 66 was issued, commanding the clones to kill their generals. So imagine this. Okay, so get in the order. The order wasn't fucking from a chip. It was from verbal. And the commanders had to tell their own people to pursue with Order 66. So there you go. I saw other Jedi slain. I killed the clones assigned to execute me, saving only one long enough to learn why. Then I fled the planet. Okay, so this is where, again, the chip doesn't make sense, because if they had chips, do you think they would really reveal anything? I mean, just think about it, the chip. Because how the chip is supposed to be so controlling to these clones' minds. The Jedi comm channels were silent. I reached out through the Force, but could not sense any other Jedi. A light had gone out in the galaxy, and I was alone. The Jedi purge, as it became known, was extraordinarily effective. So imagine, like we know it. If you read like Darth Lord, Rise of Darth Vader, if you read, the Kenobi novel, and you read anything that was pertaining to that time frame of the purge and slightly after, the Jedi, the ones that did survive, they eventually got killed or went into exile, totally disappeared, not seen ever. So when people say, oh, well, in the EU, pre-Disney, or AKA Legends, a lot of Jedi survive too, blah, 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 without even accounting for like these Jedi just totally disappearing or being killed off eventually. So, I mean, people, it's like, that's bad faith right there. That's a bad faith argument right there. So let's go on. I made my way to Tatooine and became a war leader of several clans of Tusken Raiders. So several, not just one, several. So as my father had been before me. So does that kind of sound familiar? As my father before me? Now, people will argue and say, "Oh, well, the Tuskens that killed Anakin's mom are only just their own sect, and not all Tusken Raiders are like that." Blah blah blah. No, if you get into Tusken Raiders or Sand People's culture, their culture is a very like it's not nihilistic because they have their mythologies and all this other stuff, but it is a very brutal culture, very brutal. But in a sense, maybe they're a little bit of weak-minded because when Asharad and his father Sharad, when they were a part of the Tusken Raiders, is when these type of people, these species, these aliens, I guess you can say, started thinking more of survival and of their well-being, I guess you can say. So there's quite a shift between these time frames on how the Tusken Raiders acted. And if you read Kenobi novel, that will go into that a little bit more, which is very fascinating. If anything, to study this bit of Tusken culture on their philosophy, how they use like torture as a form of adoption. So if they bring someone in and they survive a torture, or they decide to fully, adhere to the Tusken way and culture and stuff like that, and then they're a part of the Tuskens, right? But if they die in the torture or they refuse, they will get killed, and so it's a very brutal type culture, way of life. And I don't think people realize that. And is it supposed to make them savage? Maybe, maybe not. It's just how they perceive and how they live their lives, and how they practice their culture. What they see is right for them. And the two sons also have a mythology too, so which is worth looking into, diving into further. So settlers and moisture farmers had been stealing Tuscan land and water for years, driving my people further into the Genland Waste. And of course, he was born of the Tuscans. So he was born as a Tuscan, basically. And then if you were here with me when we were talking about that, circumstances led him to have his father, before he died, send his son Asharad Hett to the Jedi Order, which is another, I guess you could say, familiar family type atmosphere for him. He thought he would be better off at, in a sense. So under my command, the Tuskens were once again a feared and potent fighting force, reclaiming what was rightfully ours. Then one day, so basically it's blasphemy to fully use like electronics, all of that type of man-made stuff, I guess you can say, technology basically. And it's also blasphemy for them to farm or steal water from the skies. So something to think about. So to them, the settlers were going into areas of Tatooine that still was livable, I guess you can say, and stealing water from their skies, which didn't sit well with them either. So let me see what you guys are saying here. Let me check the chat. We knew a Tusken, and his name was Bob. Had a All right. So I unplugged the microphone. I don't know why it kept on saying it's out. So hopefully you guys can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Audio back. All right. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't know if it's just my computer thing. I don't know. Darth Toby strikes again. I agree. I don't know what's going on. Let me go back. Let me go to my settings and we'll get back into the story here. So audio. Where's my cursor? My cursor disappeared. This is so friggin' weird. What the hell's going on here? All right. Let's see here. All right. So it's my computer default microphone, but it keeps on giving me little dings and alerts and stuff. I want out of this. So many boops. I know. Communication disruption. I know. What the hell's going on? Holy heck. Can you guys hear me? Communication disruption. Ha ha ha. So many boobs. I know. That can mean you're only one thing. Invasion. Invasion. I don't know what's going on. Let me see here. Let me see. Hopefully everything's okay now. Let's see here. Microphone access on. Charger, everything's charging. Let me see here. I'm going through diagnostics here. This is so crazy, you guys. Oh my God, it was all going smooth until now. Is this battery? I'm supposed to be charging here. It says I'm plugged in. It says it's 7%, but I'm plugged in. It could be my charger because I almost had to cancel. So hopefully I don't die out on you guys. But I almost had to cancel because my main charger, it totally broke. So the wiring is all screwed up and everything. And so I grabbed my husband's iPad cord. And I know, Melissa Lord, thank you so much. And so I have that plugged into a source where it says it's charging. So I don't know what's going on here. Oh my God. Okay. Somewhere scissors fisting the audio. Oh, God. Oh no. Let's see here. This is crazy. What the hell? And I think the alert's just because my battery is so low, but this thing is slowly charging on the source. I just get in the way and make a mess. There we go. All right. So let's try to make the best of this. If I die out and if I disconnect, then I apologize and we'll resume this next Thursday, the story. But here we go. The Scissor Fist Witch Clan, witchcraft. Ha ha ha. Yes. That's freaking crazy. Oh my God. All right. We are still here with this funky alert, but we are still here. As long as you guys can still hear me, even though there's the alerts going off on my my computer, then we are good. Scissor Fist. We're never gonna outlive that one when we're looking up the Dathomirian witches. Holy crap, that's crazy. Like even right now, my cursor is like going kind of slow a little bit because of the situation. Yeah. I'm thinking. Beep. Beep bop, beep bop, beep bop, beep bop, beep bop. Can an alert sound cause someone to go mad when they're already insane? Are you saying I'm insane? Or are you talking about yourself, Soul Assassin? Huh? I only know the Razor Fist. He walks as the ghost of the Badlands. Oh yeah, his comics. I guess he's doing. I got what you're saying. I got it. Let's see here. I don't know what the hell this is about, and I don't know how to take this alert off. like the sound off. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. How crazy. It's crazy. I can't, like my cursor now is frozen and I can't take Silver's comment off. Come on now, work with me. Can you guys hear me? There we go. There we go. Oh, God, this is crazy. It's like I can only do so much right now. It's crazy. I don't know what to do. Let's see here. That's all we're gonna hear is beedoop boom, beedoop boom. It's like R2D2 is stuttering and just stuck in one word, huh? Beedoop boom, beedoop boom. Don't know. And I have this well plugged in when I found out that this charger can work on my computer. So I don't know what to do. I am stumped. Come on, I want to see the rest of the comments here. Come on. Okay. Hi, General Grievous. How are you doing? Thank you for joining. And then Crystal Clear kind of remind me of the Wii homepage. Ha ha ha. Okay, so if you guys could still hear me, we're going to still resume. It's going to go a little slower, I guess you could say. And hopefully I don't die out here. So basically, here we go. With the beep, bop, boop kind of sound, right? You know, a little bit of music going on, I guess you could say, if you want to call it that. All right, so it was a little moisture farmer near the port of Mos Eisley. A plot clawed by claimed, geez, I can't read, that was my problem this morning, by a husband and his wife when all the sand belonged to the Tuscans. And so we have right here. So we see Obi-Wan Kenobi here, and he is watching the Banthas ride up. Basically, the Tuscans ride up. I want my cursor to work. Come on, cursor. Work with me. There we go. It stopped again. It can only go so far. It must be because it's still trying to charge, and it's still low. So, all right. We'll make it work. Thank you guys for riding this out with me. I just want to do the other page. Okay, so basically the Tuscans ride up on Obi-Wan right here. So Obi-Wan, we know, basically kept an eye on the Lars homestead, right? So their farm, their water moisture farm, I guess you could say. And so he rides up. And tribesmen, wait here, he tells them. And then so he gets off his bantha and he stands next to in front of Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan says, Master Hett. Jeez, told you I can't read. The Force be with you, Master Kenobi. So, you too survived Order 66. I thought I was alone. And what brings you to Tatooine, let alone these trackless wastes? So here we go. So he's asking what's going on. Like, why are you here? So Obi-Wan says, you do, Master Hett. You lead these Tuscans as their warlord, not something a Jedi should do. And then so he says back to Obi-Wan, don't lecture me, Obi-Wan. We were both generals in the Clone Wars, warlords for a republic that turned on us. The Tuscans have been hunted and killed by both settlers and farmers. Jedi defend those who need help. Sometimes you defend life by taking the life of the aggressors. And so Obi-Wan's like, look at him like, what are you fucking saying? Look at this. I love this art here in with Jan. Amazing artist here. Past mistakes do not justify current ones. The danger is in becoming what you fight. It was the trap that the Jedi fell into. And that's the thing. It was a trap they fell into. People think, oh, well, the Jedi Order was corrupt. It's all their fault that they were wiped out. No, they fell into the same trap that like the whole Republic fell into. It is the trap that takes you now. It must stop. You must see that, Sharad Hett. So he replies to Obi-Wan, I do not. I was raised to manhood amongst the Tuscans by my father, Sharad Hett, the greatest Jedi of his age. He taught me to think and act as a Tuscan. So there you go. So we have a Jedi that came in, stayed with the Tuscans, you know, so he's no longer a Jedi, but then again, he then, before his death, he sent his son off to the Jedi. So we have, again, that bit of history. These are my people. Will settlers stop killing Tuscans? Then blood calls for blood. The settlers will be forced to abandon land or be buried beneath it. And so Obi-Wan ignites his saber and says, I cannot permit that. You were a great Jedi, Hett, and the son of a great Jedi, but you have given yourself over to revenge. It stops here. And then he ignites his saber and says, you will have a Jedi funeral, Master Kenobi. That I promise. So let me go back to